welcome to the Hi-Fi program. ഇന്നത്തെ ടോപ്പ് റെലവൻറ്റ് കറണ്ട് അഫയേഴ്സുകളിലൂടെ നമുക്കൊന്ന് പോവാം. ഇന്നത്തെ ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ടോപ്പിക് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് the US President Trump pushing for the Gaza peace plan. Before coming into this topic, we'll go through the other four relevant topics for our preparation. Please stay on live. So we'll go through these relevant topics, starting from the first one, the Ladakh people demanding for the sixth schedule status as well as for the statehood status. ഇപ്പൊ കുറെ കാലങ്ങളായിട്ട് ലഡാക്കിലുള്ള ഒരു പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ അജിറ്റേഷൻ ഒരു ഡിമാൻഡാണ് in order to get the statehood status for the Ladakh, and also they are demanding for the inclusion of the Ladakh in the sixth schedule of the Indian Constitution. ഇപ്പൊ ഈ ഒരു പ്രശ്നത്തിന്റെ തുടക്കം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് started from after the reorganized Jammu and Kashmir in 2019. Ladakh, like the Jammu and Kashmir, became the union territory of India. When a territory is recognized and is established or formed as a union territory, and that territory will be under the control and administration of the union government. A centralized administration will be there. Definitely, this will affect the regional autonomy, that state autonomy, the federal power that these region would have. Similarly, in case of Ladakh, they were being part of the Jammu and Kashmir states. After this reorganization, they lost that autonomy and became a union territory, unlike the Jammu and Kashmir, without a legislative assembly. But they don't have a representative in lawmaking process. And they pointed out that because of the climate change, this has affected the region of the Ladakh. It has affected the economy of the region. And more than 90% of the population of the Ladakh are the scheduled tribal community. And some of these tribal community Chappa, and they are involved in the economic activities, including the Pashmina gods. And this would affect the interest of these people living in this region. That's the reason that the agitation, the movement of the Ladakh people, even earlier led by Sonam Wangchuk, the activist, and other leaders. So they were conducting this agitation. So government of India had provided for the dialogue, and they were being for the talks. But now the latest development in the news that we have the apex body of the Ladakh and the Kargil Democratic Alliance, they were now pulling out for the talks with the central governments. And this agitation is still continued. In this context, for our exam perspective, what we have to study? For prelims perspective, we have to study about the sixth schedule of Indian Constitution, the constitutional provision under Article 244, subclause 2 to Article 275, subclause 1. Regarding the sixth schedule, currently the sixth schedule is applicable to the four states, all these states located in our northeast part of India: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. And we have autonomous district council. That means these tribal community, and in order to protect their interest, we have given regional autonomy. Autonomous council can be established, and they have legislative, executive functions and powers, that is to protect their land from alienation and give some forest rights, and also protect their custom. So now, in order to protect the interest of the Ladakh people, they are demanding for the inclusion of the sixth schedule because of their population and other conditions, and they are demanding that they fulfill for that. For the mains perspective, we can also say that if we establish a centralized administration in any region, would that affect the autonomy, the aspirations of the people? This is a certain such example that we can illustrate in our answer. This can also affect and impact the land rights and demography and local governance of that region. But we have to ensure a balance because the location that is strategically located in the border region of India in sharing border with the China, the LAC region. So security, stability need to be balanced as part of the border management and strategic location of the Ladakh region. So viability, when we give the status of the state for the Ladakh, how would that cause for the state interest, national interest? At the same time, how should we enhance the autonomy within the current structure of the union territory? So these are the area as an aspirant that we should integrate for our mains preparation. The next topic that we have for today is about the yesterday's the few days that we have seen news about that. So we already discussed it about this topic in the yesterday's hi-fi. So this is again coming in the news as mentioned as an editorial in the Indian Express that recently after the Asian Cricket Cup, Asia Cup, India won in that final match against Pakistan. But the ceremonials in that trophy was about to offer by the Pakistan political leader and the Pakistan cricket board chief and ACC chief, Naqvi. When Naqvi was going to give this trophy to the Indian team, but Indian team entirely, unitedly decided to refuse to receive that trophy from the political leader of the Pakistan, who is currently Interior Minister. This has created a tension. That means again a sports that we have the cricket tournament has extended into the political tension of the India and Pakistan. Now in this editorial they have mentioned that how would this would cause that a sports culture, a sports event that we have has extended to the political tension of the two countries. So it could have been avoided. For the mains perspective, this can be integrated in our ethics syllabus and ethics preparation, that the leaders as a duty that they have to act on based on ethical principle, ethical values, and the public figures have an ethical duty to promote peace, not promoting conflict or hate, and must stop using these war metaphors into the sports like cricket or football or any other things. We have to uphold the sportsmanship, the sports culture. The players must display humility and respect for rivals, even the victory following the spirit of the game over the aggressive nationalism. We would have these the feeling, the emotions of the aggressive nationalism, but at the same time, we should remember that it is sports event and we should have the sports professionalism in that events. So that was lacking in the events. The media also play an important role, has highlighted in this editorial that they should maintain the neutrality rather than sensitizing and sensationalizing the issue for their profit motives. And the moral clarity that it is also important as a vital recognize the fundamental difference that the war involved the death and profound loss, but the sports that would involve the entertainments and the temporary defeats, and do not take this as part of the cricket's part of this association. And the association organizers should also be sensitized before they decide who should be the person should offer the trophy. This kind of decision need to be considered by the organizers and the players. So this holistic perspective has been covered in this editorial. That is our second topic. The next, we are moving into the third topic that we have will be relevant for our general studies paper 3 preparations. So this is with respect to the deep ocean mission. In Indian Express, an explained page has been covered about the possibility, potential that India could have if we extend and support for the deep ocean mission explorations. So this deep ocean mission under the Ministry of Earth and Science, and this latest update that we have got that India has signed for the second contract with the International Seabed Authority for exclusive right that we can explore the polymetallic sulfide that usually will be having in the seafloor, the deep ocean regions, that we can explore this mineral. And this is kind of a rock, and has the mineral will be useful for the many renewable energy sector in the industry sector and production that would help India to have energy secured states. In this context, for the prelims perspective, we should study about the institution associated with that. For example, International Seabed Authority, UNCLOS, UPSC in the previous years has asked questions about this. So we have to study this agency and body that we have under the management of the maritime regions, in the sea areas, international sea regulatory bodies. And India is also a contracting party to this. And this was the second contract has been signed. Then the potential benefits that we have and the minerals that we can explore, so that include the deposit rich strategic critical minerals like copper, zinc, lead, gold, and silver, and essential for the green technology and the renewable energy that we should have. That will also achieve our the Panchamrit targets, the vision that we have been announced in the COP summits. The exploration site that India we have, you can see in the previous slide that we have, these were the locations that we can have this exploration. One is all these were located in Indian Ocean. So these were the locations that we have, the Carlsberg Ridge, and another one is located in these locations are also important. Now, all these, the Indian ridge that located in Indian Ocean, the strategy location is also important. The geography location is also important. The institution, as mentioned, National Center for the Polar Ocean Research in Goa, that located in Goa, is executing the explorations and enhanced by the deep ocean missions. Like we usually focused on the space exploration mission through the initiative of this. So similarly, we're also exploring the down, like we have the Gaganyaan mission in case of the blue economy, the maritime exploration, the maritime exploration, sea exploration. We have the Samudrayan mission, Matsya vehicle. So you can also study about this Samudrayan, Matsya vehicle, and other relevant fact. For the mains perspective, we should have the idea of the significance of this deep ocean mission or exploration. In future, a mains question can come from this area that would help India to have a resource viable energy security that can also help the strategic significance, like because of Indian Ocean, this all these Carlsberg Ridge strategically closer to around India's location geographically to get it in north, and also for the helping India's blue economy, the marine resources. The PMS exploration would align with the government blue economic initiative along with the long-term economic strategy to become a self-reliant. And it will also have another aspect of technological capability that success would require high-end technology like AUV and ROVV for the dynamic and positioning the vessels, the ship, and other deep exploration, deep ocean exploration, in the science and the technological developments. So moving on to the next topic that we have, the fourth, about the Nobel Peace process, the Nobel Peace selection process. There is there are some news are going on about could the Trump win the Nobel Peace Prize in this year? As a nominee, this has been divided in the news, and this is about the Nobel Peace Prize is about to announce by October 10, and the award will be given by December 10. In this context, how do we select the Nobel Peace Prize person of the year through the nominations? And this committee has been mentioned in the Indian Express based on that. So the committee that would decide the awardee of the Nobel Peace Prize will be by the Norway Nobel Committee. Based on Alfred Nobel, the 5 persons will be appointed by the Norwegian Parliament. The nomination would be open for the wide range, can be government, parliament members, university professors, and so on. And deadline will be January 31st, and the full list will be kept as secret. And the criteria would be the Nobel's wills advance in the fellowship among the nations, abolish reduction of the standing armies, and the promotion of the peace congress. So these will be considered. So Trump diplomatic interventions in the global critical crisis and conflicts. So this would be considered. That's the reason that there is some news is going on about that. Will the Trump or the could Trump would be selected in this case of this year Nobel Peace Prize. Next, another topic that we have, the major one as part of our theme topic of the day, about the US announcement of the Gaza peace plans has been accepted and agreed by the Prime Minister Netanyahu of the Israel. So in this context, so we have to study about that Gaza peace plan. It's supported and initiated by the US and agreed by the Prime Minister of Israel. The major plan that it is as part of the 20 plan. The 20-point peace proposal of the US President Trump that would include hostage prisoners swap. So both sides, they have the people who were hostage and the prisoners. If Hamas on the other side release, similarly Israel, the government also would release within 72 hours, within the 3 days, all the hostages must be released, and Israel also will be free 250 life sentence prisoners plus the 1700 Gazan detainees. This is a security mandate that Israel gets full US backing to defeat the Hamas if it refused to disarm. And another one is the post-war governance, a temporary one through the Board of Peace headed by the Trump and Blair, the former Prime Minister of the UK, oversee the administration and massive reconstructions. And there will be continuation of the humanitarian and diplomatic aid. And now the question is that call that can this a call for the Gaza peace by the US supported by the Israel Prime Minister, can this Gaza peace plan, can they work? Depending upon how Hamas would respond, how Hamas, if they refuse to surrender, then it is never going to be succeeded. And it's also like the Israel political division that would have key terms like how would they go through the eventual Palestinian Authority governance in Gaza and face opposition from the Prime Minister Netanyahu for fight response partners threatening the planned stability in Israel, and vague statehood promises would also cause another tension that so that the plan offer only a conditional pathway to the statehood, so falling short of the firm because Palestinian people and authority demand for the statehood status, but that also will reflect in the success of the Gaza peace plan proposed by the US, agreed by the Israel PM. Here, for the UPSC perspective, we have to study about India's the stance on these Israel Gaza Palestine conflicts. And India has a long stand on this case and recently was in the news in the context of the India has voted for favor of the UN resolution that endorsed two-state solution in the Israel-Palestinian conflict and adopted by 142 nations, including India. But this resolution was opposed by and was against opposed by the US and Israel. But now this peace plan announced by the US was welcomed by the Indian Prime Minister Modi. Let's see India's stance. India is welcoming the peace initiative because India's objective is in international relations and foreign policy that we promote global peace and security. If this is leading into peace in the West Asian regions, and then India would support for that. And the two-state solution in this long stand, India advocate for the two-state solution for having a state that is called as Palestine and the alongside the Israel's and other states peacefully living in that west regions. So we still maintain the balanced response that India will never tolerate any terrorism, any such activities as we have these kind of security threats. The similar stand that we still follow that Hamas, that India continue the tough balancing act that they strongly condemning the Hamas, the terrorism. At the same time, we are also providing humanitarian aid for the people of Palestinian who are affected because of this war and mainly the civilians. So this is the India stand in balancing and having the independent sovereign diplomatic stand in this issue. So these are the point of the day. I hope this would help you in revising your content, updating for your preparation. Thank you for watching.